Ben Foster, it's nice to have you on the show, mate. How you doing?
I very rarely get excited for work, but I'm looking forward to today.
Can you explain to us how you got the opportunity at Manchester United?
You're playing and you look up and you go, oh, wow, Alex Ferguson's watching.
Were you ever in the changing room when he had like a bit of a moment?
Yeah, loads, mate, loads. Yeah. If we had a bad result on a Saturday, for example, you knew on Monday morning to just steer clear of him. That's the beauty of him, honestly. They don't make him like him anymore.
What's Ryan Reynolds like in real life then?
He don't really like all the crowds and he doesn't like all the attention.
Like, where did you get the idea from to put the GoPro in the goal?
I'll be honest with you, the first reason why I wanted to start using it, I just wanted free bike stuff. There's so many creators on YouTube that, like, they're their own production company.
What, 7 or 8 years? That were you, like, from...
It's not anymore. I walked in here today, he's got 7 people working for him. 7
Right,
mate, you don't even know their name. He called them minions.
I'm
Josh.
And today we are joined, this is the Breaking Beer podcast, by the way, but we are joined by, I got too excited then, we're joined by former Birmingham, see if I can do this from memory, Birmingham, Watford, Stoke, West Brom, Man United, Kidderminster, England, goalkeeper, and of course fellow YouTube personality, the cycling goalkeeper, Ben Foster. It's nice to have you on the show, mate. How you doing?
Oh, fantastic.
Did I do well there? Was that every team?
You missed 2. There was Tiverton Town and Stafford Rangers.
I was never going to get those.
I'll forgive you them ones, it's fine.
How's it going, man?
Yeah, really, really good. Thank you. It's nice to be here. I said to you about 5-10 minutes ago, I said I very rarely get excited for work and going out and doing stuff. I like doing it, don't get me wrong, but I don't get excited. But I'm looking forward to today because not only are we doing the podcast, but then later on we're driving down to Mansfield and doing an eating challenge as well, which is like, for me, honestly, I just want to watch you in action, to see the great man himself in action.
I can't wait to see how underwhelmed he's going to be.
Yeah, I told him to repeat that on the podcast, but there's 2 minutes in, you'll be like, oh, actually, this is pretty shit in real life.
I love the way you just squash everything down, and it's so brutal and quick, and there's no tasting of anything. It's just forcing it down, and I just want to see it up close and personal.
Well, I'm not going to dust you today. We try to keep it like reasonably close together. So
I don't even believe you had that much enthusiasm when you started the channel, mate.
I didn't.
Like now you're dead inside, squashing chips and just holding them down your throat. How true is that?
It's true.
But, do you know what's funny though as well? Like I do a load of different work and stuff, and I do bits and bobs for Amazon, and I get to interview some unbelievable sports people. Right? I did Petr Cech the other day. Right? So last week for Amazon.
I saw that. Sorry to interrupt you. I saw you you were trying to learn to play drums.
Oh, yeah.
Because no, Cecchi's a big drummer.
Petr Cech's incredible. I am not incredible. I'm the opposite.
I saw you trying to do a basic 4/4, fought the floor. You should have seen it, George. Shocking.
It's awful.
Please to try. Sorry, go on.
I've got no rhythm, no musical talent in me whatsoever, right? So it's Petr Cech. He's my favourite ever Premier League goalkeeper, yeah? I love the man. I do. I think he's absolutely incredible. And I was looking forward to it, and it was good, and it went really well. But when it comes to YouTubers, right, I don't really watch telly, I don't really watch too many movies, but I watch YouTube. And I've got a few heroes in like the YouTube space. You are one of them.
Come on, no.
I promise you, you are one of them. Like Luke from the Outdoor Boys is one of them. Like these sort of people, like if I met them, I genuinely want to go, thank you so much. You know when people come up to you and go, thank you so much for the content. I really appreciate it. Like I know what it means. I do. It's so nice.
Clip that, George.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Well, you guys bumped into each other. Early 2024, right? Like, or in passing.
It was such a weird one. The first time, I was actually when I was going down to record one of the Christmas songs. And we stopped at a services. You remember? I don't remember which one it was. You remember which? It was a Starbucks basically. And I was waiting for my coffee because I went inside. And through the, you can see through the delivery window. I'm sitting with my sister. I'm like, that's fucking Ben Foster. She's like, my sister knows football, right? And she's like, it's not Ben Foster. It looks more like Gary Barlow. I was like, it's not Gary Barlow. I was like, it's fucking Ben Foster. And then you kind of looked up, and I thought, he won't know who I am. At the same time, we both kind of went like, Ben Foster.
No, I was playing it cool. I was playing it so cool because I was like, that's beard. That's beard. Oh my God, it's beard. And then we sort of both saw each other, looked away awkwardly. It was horrible. And then eventually he went, like you said, like your YouTube channel. I went, you too, mate. I love your YouTube channel. And then I think did you take a picture of me or something?
I think so, yeah.
Something,
I put it on Twitter, I think.
Put it on Instagram.
So then the second time the second time you met each other was at the Spotify event in December. We went down there.
Yeah.
I thought you knew each other because we'd gone into that event. Obviously, they did the talk at the start, didn't they? We were trying to like clock who's there. We didn't really know many people there, but everyone seemed to.
You're trying to gauge who you can sit with, who you can surround yourself by.
So naturally, we went in and sat right at the back, out of the way. Then he slapped this guy's ass because he thought it was Stevie from Jack Mate's Happy Hour.
It wasn't.
It wasn't. So this guy walked past. Anyway, whack. Get the fuck out of the
I
way,
went, fucking
Stevie.
shift, Stevie. It wasn't even him.
Who was it?
Some guy that looked a bit like him. I don't know.
And then we came out, obviously, at the break, got a bottle of beer, and you came past and sort of like tapped him on the shoulder, and I thought, oh, you must know each other, and you're not even smoking together at that point, had you?
just aware of one another, I suppose. Yeah.
But here we are. Like
Just feel warmth from some people, don't you? You feel like a warmth and a belonging, and you just gravitate towards
that was
them.
such a good night, though, because we ended up chatting with you for the rest of the night. We didn't go back in and watch the second half of the talk because it was boring.
God forbid.
And that's obviously when we set this up, so it's exciting to have you.
Well, they had a singer on, didn't they? Who, no disrespect, but I don't even listen to much music or anything really, so I ain't got a clue what she's singing about. I don't listen to her podcast either, so I'm sure some people enjoyed it though.
Yeah.
How long have you been watching Adam's channel for then? Since day one? OG?
Yeah. How long the channel been going for?
10 years.
No,
Don't
not-
make this all about me. Come on. Come on, we've got a guest on the show.
It wouldn't have been 10 years, but I'll put a good shift in at least. Anyway, I'll put a very good shift in. Yeah.
I'm excited to see you step up. I'm excited to see you step up to the plate this afternoon.
Again, I know I won't touch the sides of it. I've already watched a few videos of what the actual challenge looks like in the. I ain't going to be able to finish.
Obviously, like you're a lifetime athlete, so you've had to watch the calories over the years.
Yeah.
Like, what's your appetite like now that you've retired?
It's still massive. Like I back myself to put away a bit of food, right?
Yeah, I saw you eat about fucking 14 egg bites. I saw your order at Starbucks that time.
Yeah, 3 or 4 packs of egg bites. Like I can put away a decent amount of food, but it's not. This is not normal. Like I think people need to know that this is not normal. Like this isn't normal human behaviour. You can't have a belly that stretches like that. It's mad. So yeah, I'll do a decent job. Because we're doing a fish and chip challenge, right? I love fish and chips, yeah. But I will always have a battered cod, but I always take the batter off because I always have, because there's so many calories in the batter that I naturally just take the batter off. But today I can't do that and get away with it, so I'm gonna have to. I'm just going for it. It is what it is. It's a cheat day. It's fine.
Yeah. Are you still now that you've retired from football, you still track calories? You still.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I track calories, but I'm aware of everything that I do. I still do a lot of exercise, cycling, running, and golf, and whatever it is. I do a lot of all sorts. And I've got to be careful with what food I eat, because I like food. I like rich food as well, which is a bit of a problem.
Where do you get all your energy from? Because you were like this down at the Spotify event. I'm like, how do you manage?
Most of it's coffee. I swear.
Yeah.
Powered by coffee and caffeine. That's all it is.
So what does your weeks look like now? Obviously, you're running like your YouTube channel, but you're doing golf, you're doing cycling, you're doing the football sort of punditry show. Like what does it look like?
It's completely varied. It's like this week has been, I wouldn't say it's been a busy week, but it's a decent week. Obviously, Monday we do the football filming, we did a bike video as well. I want to play golf in the afternoon. Yesterday we were down in London at Spotify Studios doing a podcast. We've got this today, and then tomorrow I'm up in Liverpool doing an Amazon piece with Harvey Elliott at the training ground there. So it could be, it sort of looks like that most of the time. I could go 2 or 3 days without doing anything, where I'll get on the golf course and play with my mate as much as I can, or go out on the bike. But there's always something to do in the football world. It's so quick changing. Honestly, there's always stuff to do. What's
your golf handicap? Before we've got an aspiring golfer with us, Tom, the photographer.
7 I'm off at the minute. What are you off?
28. He's fucking. It'd be off higher than that if they allowed it.
Yeah, I played with my mate a couple of days ago, and I think I should have been playing off 28. I was that bad. It was an anomaly. Honestly, it was a complete one-off. I couldn't even get it off the tee. It was horrific.
That was like me at the driving range.
I know. Yeah,
anomaly.
He had a sporting injury at the golfing range.
I did.
He talks a big game. He reckons he's best footballer in the office.
I'm definitely the best footballer in the
golfer.
office.
I've heard this. I've heard you.
I'm definitely the best footballer in the office. I keep waiting for that call up to the Sidemen game so I can 2-foot KSI right in the chest. But I went to Top Golf when I was in Vegas, right? And I was playing really well. And I thought, we'll go. They wanted to go to the range in Belgium. I couldn't hit like a single thing. So I ended up because you don't have a glove. You can't really see it now. It's repaired. I ended up stripping the skin clean off. But I don't have the patience for golf.
I think they say if you're getting blisters on your hands playing golf, you're gripping it too tight.
Yeah.
They say a bird, like imagine you try...
The animal, yeah?
An animal, yeah. You're supposed to when you catch one in the wild or something, you're supposed to just like softly hold it, apparently.
Like Mike Tyson with his pigeon.
Anyway.
All right, well, let's jump back in then at your football career before you go into your YouTube career. Who's the favourite club that you've played for throughout your career? Can you say that?
Yes, you can say that, yeah. Probably West Brom. Just because I spent most of my time there. I was there for 8 years, so I've got some real close friends that I still keep in touch with now. Yeah, it was a fantastic club, real kind of family-orientated club. A lot of the clubs I played for are very similar, to be fair. Watford, West Brom, Birmingham, they're all kind of the same sort of ilk, that same sort of stature, really. Obviously, when I was younger at Manchester United, it's a different level, different gravy completely. You know, it's a massive machine, and especially at that time as well when I was there, they're just winning everything. They're just ruthless. It's like game after game. You win a game, you don't even really celebrate. You just get ready for the next one to win again, and it's just monotonous.
We were debating in the office this morning. I'm not a massive football fan whatsoever, so like I only know like 3 goalkeepers, and you're the third one now. Like
Who's
I know
the other 2?
David Seaman and Fabian Barthez. That's all I know from.
And he only knows
football.
David Seaman because it's Seaman. He's a child.
But I've tried to do my research. Can you explain to us how you got the opportunity at Manchester United? Because is it right that you were playing with Alex Ferguson's son, or he was a coach?
Yeah. So
what's the story there?
I was on loan at Wrexham, so I was signed to Stoke City, but I was on loan at Wrexham because Stoke were in, I think, the Championship at the time. Wrexham were in League 2 or League 1, and I went out on loan to just get first team football. We had a goalie playing for Stoke who was an established first choice goalie, so I went out on loan. I played the last, I think, 16 or 18 games of the season, but did really well. We got to the lower league final, trophy final. Alex Ferguson actually came to the match at Wembley, watched it. It was fantastic.
Were you aware of that?
Yeah, because like some point in the game, they put his face on the big screen. So like you're playing and you look up and you go, oh wow, Alex Ferguson's watching. Millennium Stadium, actually, it weren't at Wembley, it was at the Millennium Stadium.
In Cardiff?
Yeah, in Cardiff, when it was being built, when Wembley was being built. And so I was aware he was there, but you don't think of anything like that. I had a really good game, we won the game 2-0. But for the rest of the season, I got wind that United were looking at me, so Alex Ferguson actually came to a couple of the games with his goalie coach as well. Darren Ferguson, his son who was playing for Wrexham, came up to and told me the worst thing you could ever possibly tell somebody who's trying to impress her. Oh, my dad's looking at you for the summer, maybe, for Man United. And I'm thinking, oh
no,
shit.
Come on.
Like, I don't need to hear this, Darren. But somehow I managed to just sort of keep it together, kept it going, did really well. And yeah, the rest was history, really. They bought me from Stoke City. I'd never played a first team game for Stoke City. They bought me for like £1 million, I think it was. And it all just went from there. But even now, I look back at my time at Man United and it didn't work out for me there because I think at that time of my career, I think I was maybe 23, 24. I was still so like wet behind the ears, yeah. Like the pressure of it, lads. It's like nothing you've ever. I only know it because I've been there and I felt it. But the pressure of it is just phenomenal. It's frightening. It just takes over you. So you step onto the pitch, you're wearing a Manchester United shirt and you've got all these unbelievable world-class players in front of you. But the pressure does something to you that you can't explain. Like it takes over your bodily functions. You can't perform or do the stuff that you do in training every single day. Like you're so autopilot at doing it in training, but you step on the pitch, the expectation comes, the self-doubt comes, and it's hard work it was, yeah.
Being a goalkeeper's got to be one of the hardest positions to play, right?
I was going to say
yes, agreed. Yeah, it's fact. It's an actual fact. Yeah.
If it's not the hardest, it's certainly like the one that's under the most scrutiny. Because if you make a mistake, this has been said a lot. If you're playing centre midfield or you're playing on the wing, even if you make a mistake, it's going to go in a touch. Right?
Exactly.
If you make a mistake as a goalkeeper, it's going in probably.
Yeah.
So you become. I saw a lot of stuff about Onana over the weekend or last week. He'd made a couple of errors. I can't remember what game it was, and you think that's like a split-second choice that you make, you know?
Brutal.
And then you're going to be under the mic, especially these days with so much content, podcasts, analysis goes on for 2 hours after a game.
Yeah.
That, it must be very difficult these days, for especially for goalkeepers, to kind of come to terms with that because you're going to be criticised week in, week out.
I'd say in the modern game, goalkeepers and young players, because young players that grew up on social media, they're so used to looking at every comment and what everybody's saying about them. Goalkeepers, you're constantly second-guessing yourself, thinking, what if I make a mistake? What if I make a mistake? And when you start going into a game thinking, what if I make a mistake? It's the worst place to be. It is. And it wasn't until I probably got to my mid to late 20s, 26, 27 really, where I really just started going, do you know what? I don't care anymore. If I make a mistake, I make a mistake, but I'm not trying to make a mistake. I'm trying to help my team out as much as I can, trying to do the best job I can. And if I do make a mistake, so be it. And until you can sort of like let the shackles off a little bit and just really try and play with a smile on your face, that's when you'll start getting the best stuff.
What was it like playing under Alex Ferguson then? Was it Alex Ferguson who booted a football boot at Becca.
At Beck's, yeah.
So it's like, were you ever in the changing room when he had like a bit of a moment?
Yeah, loads, mate. Loads. Yeah, loads. He had loads of moments as well. It wasn't just in the changing rooms. It was around the training ground. If we had a bad result on a Saturday, for example, you knew on Monday morning to just steer clear of him. Like, you wouldn't even go up to the canteen because his office was near to the canteen, next to the canteen, basically. So you wouldn't walk up that way because you knew there's a chance he might be there, and you just didn't want to see him. You didn't want to lock eyes with him. You'd just hide away in the gym, just go and do extra work or whatever, but you wouldn't go upstairs because he would take that into the Monday. Like losing or a bad performance or something that might have just really irked him on the Saturday, he would carry it with him for days, and everybody knew it. And I think that's the beauty of him. Honestly, they don't make him like him anymore. I promise you, they don't make him like him. And I don't even know if it would work in today's football because the modern football is so much softer than what they used to be. You can't get at modern footballers anymore. You can't tell them. You can't shout at them. You have to be nicey with them, an arm round them. And come on, you got it. It's all right.
I'm going to say that, like the old-fashioned like authority. Because I mean, you've got what's the Irish guy called?
Roy Keane.
Roy Keane. Who's like, I'm not doing a great job of steering this, mate. You're going to get killed in the comments, crucified. No, but you see him and he's like really hard face when he's doing his punditry and like he's saying it as it is. But then like nowadays, like no one's. How does a modern manager command that sort of respect with like a football that's on? What's that? I mean, how much does a Premier League footballer make a week?
The best are in hundreds of thousands, aren't they, a week, if not more? You know, like, so it's hard, I guess, when you got people that are being paid so much. I always kind of think as well. It might be a bit cynical, but I often think when you got the best players in the world, I think the best of the best, you Ronaldo's, Messi's, and you really top enders really want to do well because they're driven, they've got some kind of drive in them. But I think if you just say you've been paid 150 grand a week, you say you're Jack Grealish or whatever, and you're not getting a game every week, how much are you going to actually care when you're on the pitch? When you're thinking, I'm getting 200 grand anyway, if I lose 1-0, 2-0, is that big of a deal? I think there's got to be a factor in that, you know.
Money's massive. Honestly, it's softened so many players. It's softened so because obviously the money now in football is so much more than what it used to be. Back in the day, you're talking about Roy Keane's era, for example. There, like a guy would just he didn't even care about what wage he was on. He didn't care about. It was all about winning. It was all about him personally running through brick walls and leading his team. But it was about winning. That's all it mattered. That's all that mattered. And they had a load of players around him that kind of felt the same way and did the same thing. A lot of other players in the league were the same, but now because there's so much money involved, the second you come up to any kind of hardship in life or in football, as long as you've got that bank account popping and you know guaranteed every month they're still going to be putting 400 grand in there, it does soften you. It does, because you think, why do I have to keep doing it? Why should I keep pushing myself?
How is that like public knowledge? Like, is it just like a shared thing that's just been there forever?
How much they get paid?
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Or is it like estimates, or is it like fact?
I think they're reported. I don't know why it's publicly available, but you probably don't see like the ins and outs of like bonuses and stuff like that. But generally, if you're watching Transfer Deadline Day, you get a lot of reports about they're going to buy him for this. I don't know why it's the case, but yeah, it's public information how much people earn usually.
How was it for you sort of going into like professional football and then getting to the top? Because I know you started out like as a chef, didn't you? And then you worked your way up.
Chef? I didn't know this.
Yeah. And then I saw one of your clips from your podcast where you said you were on 40 grand a week, which is like an astronomical amount of money, right? Like at one point. Like what was it like to go from, you know, like working 14 hours in a kitchen to then earning 40 grand a week?
So, completely sort of crazy way of getting into football. Left school at 16. Never, as a kid, I was never a hot talent, a prospect, nothing. I never played for my county, never did anything special. Left school, got a job. Chef is a very loose term, by the way. It's a very loose term. Like, we're being quite generous here. But me and a couple of mates went and got a job at Cafe Rouge in Leamington Spa, and we had a really good time, to be fair. It's a good learning curve for us as well, because being a chef's hard work. Like, we were working 50, 60 hour weeks sometimes. Like, you're sweating, it's hot, you're in a kitchen, clothes cramped, and you've got to be on point as well, because if you mess up an order or don't put something in the oven at the right time when that main meal's about to go and you haven't got your part ready, you're going to get shouted at, like heavy shouted at as well. So it was really good. It's a really good learning curve for me. So when I did get into football, I kind of understood that hard work was something that got you quite far. Like, you have to put the hard work in, you have to put the hard yards in. But when I was at Stoke City, so I signed for Stoke at 18, I was on 250 quid the first year, 250 quid the second year, third year I think I went up to 350. Buzzing. Got to have an Audi A3. I was over the moon, honestly. It was a legend. I had a Renault Clio, then upgraded to an Audi A3. And then it's from there, really. So at the age of about 21-ish or something, the body just connected and it clicked and it all started to make sense. And it genuinely took me till I was 21 years old. to realise and start having the belief that I could go and do a bit or make a career out of football. And then obviously getting the move to Manchester United, that's the big one, because that kickstarts everything. Your wages go up, you get nice signing on fees, but then starts coming a lot more pressure. And it wasn't until I left Manchester United that my career really started. So I left Man United, signed for Birmingham City, and then that was it. I was like, boom, I'm going to do this. I'm a Premier League player. I'm going to trust myself, back myself, and spent the next 10 years from there really playing in the Premier League. And again, I'm a little bit like old school really, where the wages never really sort of like bothered me so much. I didn't do it for the wages. I did it because I'm competitive. I'm pathetically competitive. In fact, like everything was a competition. Like training was a competition. Like we had a quiz thing in the car coming up this morning, me and Tom, and it's a competition. And he says he won the first 2 rounds, and he didn't win the first 2 rounds. I beat him in the first 2 rounds, and he was bullshitting, all right? But that's how I genuinely put it all down to being competitive. I'm the youngest of 4 siblings, and my older brothers were twats. Like, they used to kick me. I love them to bits, really. My sister's great, but they were always better than me at Mario Kart, and like whatever it was, they were better than me at it. And I always used to strive to just be better, so I'm just so badly competitive at everything I do.
Yeah. When you did make the money, then did you make any extravagant purchases? Did you have you seen people fall foul of that? Just going, the money's here, let's go.
Again, I'm not a shiny person. I don't really like cars. I never wear watches. I like my trainers, but not because they're fancy or rich trainers. I like the being limited edition trainers, and I like the history of them and stuff like that. So they would probably be my biggest sort of expenses. Getting limited. I've got a really good collection of limited edition trainers from 15, 20 years ago or whatever. But the people who make the big mistakes are the kids that sign that first pro contract at like 18, 19. So, because when you're in the academy, yeah, you get an academy wage, which is, when I was playing, it was about 100 quid, yeah. Nowadays, it's probably about 500 or 600 quid, right? Which is still decent money, right? But if they get a pro contract from that point on, depending on what club you're at, if you're at, I don't know, Arsenal, yeah, and you get offered your first pro contract, you'll go on to a couple grand a week, yeah? So 400, 500 quid onto 2 grand a week, and then all of a sudden 2 grand a week, yeah, you're talking 4 grand in your bank at the end of the month. You can go to Harvey Nicks, you can go to Southridge's, and you can get whatever you want. You can start getting a real nice car on finance. So you see kids, yeah, 18, 20-year-old kids, right? I've seen them driving around in Range Rovers, right? Range Rover SVRs, no less, as well. Do you know how much the insurance is for a footballer, a young professional footballer, on a Range Rover that costs 200 grand?
No idea. A lot.
200 grand. The insurance is 200 grand. Yeah? That's how expensive insurance is for young footballers.
So specifically the category drop down, professional footballer,
mate,
it just hikes the
price.
price.
You can't just put it in on the internet. You can't just put it in on the internet and get a car insurance for a professional footballer. You have to ring them up, because they have to know exactly who you are, who you play for, and then the reason why it's so expensive is because you're young and you flash, but the likelihood is you might have other assets in the car with you. You might have other footballers that are worth 100 million quid, 50 million quid in the car with you. And if you injure them whilst you're driving, the insurance payout is astronomical.
I always remember, sorry mate, I just remembered off my head, there was a guy who used to play for Spurs, remember, a player called Benoit Asuikota? Yeah. He was famous, do you remember, driving around in a smart car?
Yeah.
Like, he didn't have a flash car. Yeah. I used to have a fucking smart car.
Mate, Benoit Asuikota, I think I'm right in saying he's the guy that didn't really enjoy football. He came out famously and said, like, I don't really enjoy the actual act of football. I do it because it pays really well. Yeah. What I do enjoy is every month they put a load of money in my bank account, and that's what he enjoyed about it.
It sounds like that tennis player we were talking about last week.
Oh, Nick Kyrgios.
Yeah, same sort of thing. Yeah.
But there is an element in that, and it's like if you're good at it and you can earn a wage. I mean, like, it's like any job that you don't go to work every day enjoying videography, do you? Some days you do.
Yeah, some days.
But it's, I think it's just one of those things.
You know, when you talk about the money side of it, like, I know you specifically from the Wrexham documentary, because I'm obsessed with documentaries, and when that came out, I'm like, this is.
And you're a bit obsessed with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah,
we all.
But you've sort of famously said that you were on peanuts when you went there.
Yeah.
Have you ever publicly said what you got paid by Wrexham?
Oh, nothing. It was bonuses. Like, if we got promoted, I would get a bonus the same as what the lads were getting for getting promoted. But because I only played for 8 games, I would get pro rata 8 games of what the lads' bonuses were for the season. So it was like a few grand probably.
Right. Passion project.
But yeah, but I genuinely did it because it fed into everything I was doing. At first, I did it because it fed into everything I was doing.
Yeah.
It fed into the podcast and the YouTube channel, and you can get back doing YouTube like videos, GoPro in the goal and all that. But then very quickly after the first couple of games, you get to see how serious it was for them and how much of a big deal and how much it meant to everybody and how good the lads were as well. And Then very quickly you just get drawn in and you're like, "Wow, this is class." Like, it's so nice. When you're in a changing room of real good people, honest, hard-working people, it's the best place to be, honestly. I've been in so many changing rooms where it's poison and the lads are divs, and it's just, it's hard work to come to, like, it is. Coming into work every day, it's like, oh, got to put up with them again today, and the mood is bad and the atmosphere is bad. But when everybody's on top form and popping and doing it properly and working hard, it's a great place to be, footballers.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Sorry to interrupt this episode. I just want to take a quick moment to tell you about our Patreon. As you know, we don't take on any old sponsorships around here. In fact, we've only done 2 in the last 2 years. That's why we need Patreon. That's where you guys come in. Each week, we do a Patreon-only episode. Fancy going to watch Kung Fu Panda 4? Yeah.
No, I'd just call you for that, dickhead.
I'm not shagging you. Anyway, George, as well as behind-the-scenes content from all our trips abroad, all the antics, and all the stuff that we've frankly can't post on YouTube. It's a great community being built, and the money generated helps keep this sinking ship afloat. If not, George is going to have to go back to selling his ass for money. You get early access to every episode, and there's a Patreon-only episode with every podcast. Not only that, there's almost a year's worth of behind-the-scenes content for you to catch up on, and you can see all the antics that goes on whilst we're abroad. And you can ask us questions on our Patreon-only Q&As. All this for less than the price of a pint. Thanks as always for the support. Now back to the episode. What's Ryan Reynolds like in real life then?
Brilliant.
Yeah, is he as charismatic and as witty?
He's exactly the same. He's almost shy in a way, I'd say. Almost shy in a way, where he don't really like all the crowds and he doesn't like all the attention. He'd come into the changing rooms after some of the games when he was there, and you could see he was almost... I suppose it is a bit daunting. I don't care who you are, right? If you walk into a changing room with 30 blokes in there, yeah, all athletes as well, it's a bit daunting, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. You got to like, people are looking at you, they're always just watching you. You can see he was a little bit sort of like on the back foot, a little bit shy about it all, but he was such a nice guy.
It's such a clever sort of marketing effort that they've done. Like, it's put a big risk in there,
yeah,
but to
massive,
bring
yeah.
It's brought new eyes to the sport that would, like, you know, you've got your diehard footy fans that watch footy. Like, I don't watch football, but that Wrexham documentary comes out, I'm binging it until it's done. Like, same for the Drive to Survive. I won't watch Formula One, but that Drive to Survive comes out, I'm there all.
It's brilliant. We should see the reaction in America as well. So when I was there, we obviously got promoted the season that I was there, and then I started the next season with them. But in the summer, we went pre-season tour of America, and we did, I think, 2 weeks, and we travelled around, did San Diego and North Carolina and a few others. We played in the college stadiums, right? 70,000 college stadium, unbelievable stadiums they were. But you turn up to the game and we played against Chelsea and we played against Man United. And you turn up to the Chelsea game and you're expecting the whole crowd to just be blue because it's Chelsea. You'd expect Chelsea to be the big team out there. The people will want to watch them. But you turn and it was 50-50. Wrexham out there. Wrexham in America. Wow, lads.
I love that. Americans love an underdog, don't they? It's funny when I love how it's kind of breaking there now as well. Like, you get a lot of the facilities, you know, public facilities to play football are incredible, I think, in America. And like you say, college, I love the format of American sports as well. And again, in this country, it's academies. College football is effectively like our championship, you know what I mean? So I like that element of it.
We went around a few of the like the gyms at the stadiums and stuff like that, where all the players get like changed and do the workouts. Honestly, like, you've never seen anything like it. Better than Premier League facilities. Really? Better than Premier League facilities. And this is a college gym. The college gym is... it's just never-ending. It's a never-ending room of weights and every bit of equipment you could ever think. Millions and millions of pounds worth of equipment. It was so good. It was.
That's cool.
So good.
Am I right in saying when did you get, obviously Wrexham got promoted?
Yeah.
And then did the guys take you to Las Vegas for like a big blowout?
Yeah. So we finished the season, got promoted up out of the National League, and They said to us, even when I was signing, they were like, listen, if we get promoted, we're going to Vegas. All expenses paid, trip to Vegas. And it was exactly that as well. Honestly, it was crazy. I'd love to know how much they spent on this thing, because it was 4 days of kind of just rinse and repeat every single day. It was, you'd wake up, you'd go down to our own little like private cabana thing with loads of food and drink in there, good to go at like 10 in the morning or whatever. You'd have a few drinks there. Then it would be off to the pool party in the afternoon at whatever top pool party was. We'd have like 2 massive like cabana things all for us, all day drinking there, get back, shower at 7 o'clock and then straight downstairs for dinner and then a nightclub afterwards. And it was hard work. It's
intense, isn't it, though? Vegas, it's like one of those places that you did
hard work.
You'd never
I did the first 2 days, and then I had to go, lads, I need a day off here. I need a day off. Like, they're all younger than me. They're all good to go, but I was like, nah, I need a day off. So I spent the day in bed. I was done for.
Ryan and Rob do that with you?
Rob did. Ryan didn't. He was shooting, I think, Deadpool or something like that, or something. He was shooting something. But Rob came and he joined in for a couple of days. And
how funny is it that now in the latest Deadpool Wolverine, there's a Welsh pool, which is Mullen, right?
Yeah, Paul Mullen. Yeah, Ollie Palmer's in. He's like one of the extras in a like a bar fight or something like that. There's a bar fight by the pool table, and Ollie Palmer sort of just stood in the background.
What's it like for them to be sort of in that league of player, then to be like
catapulted
straight into the limelight?
It's mad, isn't it? They're sound with it though. Like their sound, it's almost like they just got so used to it so quickly because the cameras are always around the place.
What an opportunity as well.
Yeah, real big opportunity. And I think Wrexham can sign players off of the back of this so much easier and so many better talented players than what other teams could. Yeah. Wrexham are able to sign championship quality players in League 2, in League 1. They can sign them players because of the allure of what sort of Wrexham offers it, really. It's incredible what they've done with it. It really is.
When you look back at your career and you look like the world-class players, like who stands out and can you see why they are the top of the tree?
Yeah, but like the two players I always say that stand out are probably Paul Scholes and Cristiano Ronaldo, right? Because they're both like technically talented, just incredible. But Scholes was just phenomenal, technically phenomenal, right? But as a character, he was so sort of like quiet about it as well, just like this real humbleness where he didn't really care about being a footballer. He hated the limelight. He just came in, played football, and quite honestly went home. One of the first ones to leave. He'd do all his gym work in the morning, but he just wanted to go home and that'll do. Then you've got Cristiano Ronaldo, probably one of the best football players ever to have lived, who was the first one in the morning, did all the extra bits and bobs, learned everything about how he could be better and stronger and faster, and then he did the training. He was the last one on the training pitch to leave. And then afterwards he would go and do all his cool down and rehab, extra gym work, extra core work, yoga, all this, massages. And he's the opposite of Paul Scholes, absolute opposite. Was the pin-up boy, was doing all the magazine articles, all the TV interviews, and you just think there's no real kind of set way of doing it, is there? Do you know what I mean?
Were you surprised when Scholes ended up doing punditry? Because I always thought it was like, he's one of my favourite, I'm not a Man United fan, but I when people talk about best midfielder and it's always like Lampard or Gerrard, I'm always like Scholes. Come on. Yeah. I always wonder if did you hear that story? I think I told it on the podcast one time. I can't remember it might be in Keane's autobiography or something. There's a story on the training ground that Ronaldo was dicking about doing like somewhere around the world. He was juggling, doing a bunch of tricks or whatever. And apparently Scholes started laughing at him and he said, can you do that? He's like, no, but give me the ball. And he said, I'll hit that tree over there. It's like 40 yards away. So he bangs at this tree and hits it and then just laughed and got in his car and walked off. I don't know if it's true, but that seems, I read it somewhere.
It wouldn't surprise me, honestly. Yeah. He was frightening. Like all the lads just used to like watch in awe sometimes. Like we'd play like six-a-sides or whatever, or a possession game or something. And I'm just watching thinking, this is like, there's levels and then there's next level, top level. Do you know what I mean? It's just, I was surprised though when he started doing punditry and commentary. But I think it's any footballer, when they're in it, it's like, you'll never see me after football. You hear so many say, you'll never see me after football. I'll be long gone. You never hear from me ever again. I'll take my money and I'll sail off into the sunset. But then you realise you're probably 35, 36. You've got another 35, 36 years of life left. Like, you got to do something. You have to do something. Yeah. You have to have a reason to get out of bed in the morning, a purpose. And it's probably kind of caught up with them going, no, actually, do you know what? Like, I know football. I know what I'm talking about. I can say what I see. And he's perfect fit for it.
Yeah. I was thinking... The interesting thing to me is how you allude to it there is how hard it is to leave, because like you see, I don't know you intimately, but when you say you're in the dressing room every day, training every day, in the canteen every day, traveling with each other every day, how difficult is it once you have actually retired?
Yeah.
You wake up the day after you've retired and it dawns on you, you're not going to get that every week. Is that difficult to deal with?
Yeah, if I'm very fortunate that I've got something kind of in the pipeline already. I was already doing the YouTube channel, the podcast, football shows, bit of punditry, commentary, all that kind of stuff. So I had something to not fall back on, but to carry on with. Yeah. But I would worry for a lot of footballers that don't know what's next for them or haven't got any sort of plans in place, because it's we did a podcast yesterday and we were talking about it with a guy who's just retired actually, and he said the same thing, is you wake up on Monday morning after you've retired and you're so used to being told where to be at what time with what equipment you need, and that it's simple, it's all laid on for you. He says as soon as you've retired, you have to do it all for yourself. You have to think of all of it for yourself. Like it sounds so nothing, right? But doctor's appointment, yeah? Like I've had footballers go like, how do I get a doctor's appointment? And it's true though, they're not registered at their local doctors. Yeah. They're not like the one down at the shops or something. They're not registered there. They have a club doctor that they've had forever. So any problem you have with a footballer, you call the doctor. We had 2 doctors at West Brom, for example, where we had a sports doctor or we had a family doctor. So anything I needed with like a flu bug or something like that, I'd go to the family doctor. Any sports related something, I'd go to the sports doctor. And it's always on hand. It's always at tap. I could ring him up any time of the day. I'll have them for you in the morning. It's all done for you. But as soon as you retire, it's like, what do I do then? You got to go, and then the chemist afterwards. You got to get prescription. What is this? It's mad.
So you said that, like, obviously you knew as you were sort of coming to the end of your career, is that when you start, like, where did you get the idea from to put the GoPro in the goal? Like, where did that come from?
We were in lockdown, and I'll be honest with you. The first reason why I wanted to start using, I just wanted free bike stuff. Like I wanted to. we did so much cycling, me and Tom, and it was the best. Like lockdown was incredible for cycling. Like the roads were dead, like nobody about. We could go anywhere. Weather was fantastic as well. And I thought, like, if I start a YouTube channel with cycling and a bit of goalkeeping and football and stuff, they might send me like a new frame or some wheels and stuff, because it's well expensive. Like wheels are like 2 or 3 grand. A frame is like 3 or 4 grand. You know what I mean? Like a proper whole bike is about 11, 12 grand nowadays. And I was thinking, if they could send me stuff, I'd be buzzing with this, right? And then it just started so quickly. So I started doing a bit of cycling content, and then I said to these lot, I was like, you know what, I should do some like football videos around the training ground, or even like on a match day, just show what's what. And then I don't know where it came from. I was just like, I'm going to put the camera in the goal. And we knew we shouldn't be doing it because there would probably be laws about broadcast rights. I was going to
say that, like licensing issues.
There'll be some sort of licensing somewhere or something. But I did it, and I just thought, you know what, it's probably better to ask for forgiveness afterwards.
We say that a lot, yeah.
Just do it and see what's what, right? We'll just see. We'll plead like innocence afterwards, and I did it, and nobody said anything. Nobody said anything, and everybody was well aware that it was like not proper and you shouldn't be doing it and stuff. Everybody knew, but nobody said anything. The EFL, Sky Sports, nobody. And then eventually, somebody from the Mail, the Daily Mail, got in touch with us and said, "You shouldn't be doing this." And it was like, oh, for God's sake, it was like, we're going to flag it up with the EFL and Sky Sports and blah blah blah. And I was like, mate, why don't I give you a call? We'll have a chat about it and I'll explain what we're doing. And like I was thinking, hopefully it will like stem it a little bit. So I did this interview with him, mate, later that night on the Mail website. Foster knows he's doing illegal stuff. And it was like, oh,
what a fucking narc.
Yeah, you narc. So but to be fair, like because it was in lockdown and it was like empty stadiums and there wasn't a lot of access to anything, the EFL and Sky were brilliant. They were so good. Like we agreed a contract where I could carry on doing it and this and that and a few little guidelines to abide by and stuff. But they could trust that I could show the videos or show football in a good light, because they were always positive videos anyway. Like I always bleeped out swearing and never showed anything a bit like contentious or anything like that. So they were happy for it to carry on. They were happy.
Did you have any repercussions from like other players or management? Because I saw like on one of your videos where you went into the changing room and you still sort of filming between your legs.
Yeah.
And like, did you ever get any backlash or any? Like,
yeah, a little bit. Yeah. So like I got fined a few times from Watford. Like so, the problem came when we got promoted that season. So the first season I was doing it brilliant, and then we got promoted into the Premier League. And then as soon as you go into the Premier League, all the best trying to film anything. Like it's all broadcast right, Amazon, BT, Sky, billions of pounds. It's big deal, right? So we had a Zoom call at the end of the season. It was with people from the Premier League, the representative, and they were just like, you can't do this anymore. You can't carry on showing stuff. It's not allowed. I was like, so we have to find a way around it. So I carried on doing like the vlogs where I would show us travelling, or I'd show us walking into the stadium, into the changing rooms. I could still show quite a lot, just no match footage. But when you're losing and getting pumped like 6-0 and 7-0 and like me coming out at the end of the vlog going, yeah, just lost 7-0. Not a great day at the office today, but you know, we keep smiling and make sure you subscribe. Like it just don't go down very well. It really don't. So the fans would kick off. Like if we won, the fans wanted to see the video. If we lost, the fans hated me and they did not want to see the video. And he's making money off of us losing games. And so, yeah, there were a few videos I put out where we've had to hold them back or not put them out, or I did put them out and then the club would yeah, basically they ended up fining me a couple of times because they just got a proper bee in their bonnet about it.
What sort of fines do you get as a footballer? Like,
oh, you're talking week's wages. You're talking a week's wages.
Yeah,
you're talking a week's wages.
What's like the worst fines you've had?
Yeah,
a week.
A football club can only fine you 2 weeks' wages in any month. So the most they can take out of your pay packet is 50% of your wages in any month's pay.
Still a lot,
but it's still a lot of money. 50% of any wage is a lot of money to take away from somebody. So yeah, I got hit with 2 1 week wages basically. For different things.
So what would a typical footballer get fined for? Like,
it's percentage of wages.
No, so, but what for?
Right. So what would the fines be?
Have you ever seen the
fines list?
Yeah, they post these fines. I said we should do one for like the office.
Yeah, right, I agree. Yeah, leaving coffee cups about.
Yeah, it can be minor stuff.
Yeah.
Like, not saying a lot of the kit man. You know, they do it, I think, to encourage a good culture in the club. But are you fined even if you get like? Are you still fined if you get booked and red cards?
Yeah, well, you get a normal FA fine anyway for getting a yellow card. So like, you know, when you play Sunday League, I don't think you play football, did you? But if you played Sunday League as a kid, you get a £7 fine or something. It would come through to your house, or footballers still get fined for a standard fine for a yellow card or a red card. But then, depending on the severity of like a red card, for example, so if I just punched you in the face, I would get a 2 weeks fine. Standard, because I've let my teammates down. It's aggressive, but I can't just go and punch somebody in the face, so I'll get a 2 week fine. But then club fines are completely different. We'll get all sorts. If you leave your flip flops lying around, if you leave your pants in the shower or kit on the training pitch, you don't take your plate away after lunch and put it in where it's supposed to go, or like you say, if you're not polite to the kit man, or you don't turn up to a media duty or something, you're getting fined, and they can be hefty at times. They won't go into percentage of wages, but they can go up into the thousands.
That's mental. Yeah. I never knew that.
Yeah. But it's all for culture, though. You've got to breed a good culture of respect and everybody doing it properly. Like in the gym, if you don't put your weights away, or if you're not on time for a meeting, or when the gym session starts, or God forbid you're late for training, or oh my God, if you're late for training, you're getting a heavy fine.
Just real quick, I know we talked about football stuff already, predominantly, but when it comes to like gym, as a slightly different probably for a goalkeeper, but how much are you like training in terms of just in the weight room, in the gym?
Yeah.
And how do you balance that with like match day and stuff like that? Because I'm thinking like if you're in there every day, presumably not training.
Early in the week. So it's always, say that it's just Saturday games, you'll do all your hard work early on in the week. So normally you play Saturday off Sunday, and then it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Dom's day. Like you're killing, So you'll be in the gym doing, most of the time it's lower body weights. Like footballers don't really do too many upper body weights at all. It's mainly core. We do core every single day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, core, because that's for your back, for everything really. So you're battering your core, but then you do a lot of leg weights. So you do Monday leg weights, Wednesday leg weights, and it's just about getting all of those big groups strong and good to go again. But upper body, you don't really touch it too much. Thursday, Friday, you're just tapering down for the game really.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So when we look at your YouTube channel, when you first started out, then the initial goal was to get the cycling equipment.
Yeah.
Obviously that came quickly.
Yeah.
What was then like after that? What was the goal of the channel? Like, what were you thinking?
So we put the first video out of the GoPro in the goal.
Yeah.
It was a home game against Luton, and I was going to put it in the goal for the first half, but I shit myself. So I had the GoPro in a towel as I walked out for the game, and I was like, "Shall I do it? I was like, I ain't doing it. And I shit myself, right? But then I think we were 1-0 up at half time, and I was like, I'm going to do it in the second half. I'm going to do it. So I went out, quickly put it up, set it up, blah, blah, blah. And then after the game, just walked around, brilliant, 1-0 win, buzzing, blah, blah, blah. And we gave it to the editor, and I said, like, right, edit it up, we'll have a look at it, see what it looks like. And it looked brilliant. Like I genuinely, you can hear all the conversations, the communication, talking to your players, talking to your opposition players. It just looked brilliant. So I was like, we're putting it out. Simple as that, we're putting it out. So we put it out, and it just popped. It just went straight away. Nobody had ever said anything like it before. It was first time it's ever been done, and people just buzzed off it, and they were like, well, we need to see this next week now then. And that's it. You get into that of, you've got to do it next week. You've got to do it next. And it just week after week after week, and we were doing it, and the views were growing and growing and growing, and every week you'd check on the studio and it'd be 1 out of 10 performing. Come on, you little dancer. Like little balloons popping off on the studio and stuff
I've not had that animation for
CGI
a while.
But it's the best feeling in the world when you like make a banger or something. We did a few like football challenge videos with like sidemen and like big old YouTubers, Chris ND and stuff, and you just know they're gonna. It's like the algorithm is just so prime for it. So you make one, put it out, and it's like just does crazy numbers. It's such a good feeling. Isn't
You've
it?
got a theory about that, haven't you? That the old trending page is sort of aligned with KSI and his boys.
There's a bit of voodoo. There's a bit of voodoo that goes on
Massively.
behind the scenes. Yeah.
Anything KSI mukbang of whatever you want. Number 1 on trending. Number 2 on trending. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
No comments.
No, I don't dislike the guy or anything like that. It's just.
It sounds like you dislike the guy.
No, I think I don't. Well, yeah, maybe a little, but I don't buy into the whole. That's to me. That's what people think of when they think of YouTubers, right? And there's a part of me which resents that quite a lot. There was also he had a bit of a cry that I didn't want to do any videos with him, which I found. I mean,
and you outwardly.
Panned Prime quite heavily. Yeah.
Did you see the tweet, the reply that he did to Prime?
Oh, I did see. I'd rather drink piss water. Or
Grand
specifically my grand's piss, golden brown piss. But yeah, there's nothing wrong. I don't like people that have carved out something in the YouTube space. I'm happy for them, but there's certainly some voodoo that goes on with trending, whereby it's a bit of a kingmaker system, whereby the people that, and admittedly I'm probably part of that now, but if you play the game with YouTube, I think a lot of the time you'd be on trending. If you don't,
have you not been drawn into the sort of like the fighting thing? Has nobody offered you a fight? Because obviously, like KSI,
I bet there have. Somebody's offered me a fucking fight before.
Yeah, KSI, it was due to fight a footballer recently, wasn't he? And then
Wayne Bridge, yeah.
Yeah, but then he pulled out because of like they did a face to face.
What KSI said, yeah.
Yeah. So what? Like again, I'm not in the football world, but like I didn't know Wayne Bridge well. But what happened like there?
Yeah, there was a big old thing a few years back with Wayne Bridge and John Terry. And KSI said some unsavoury things. I mean, like it was bang out of order. It was like KSI's even like said I think they did a podcast like a few weeks ago or something saying. Like he shouldn't have said it. Basically, he shouldn't have said it. I was trying to sell the fight, but I overstepped the mark, and it was bang out of order. And it was bang out of order. It was well out of order, to be fair. And Wayne Bridge pulled out of the fight, and now I think he's fighting that Dillian Dallas instead, isn't it? Which he's already fought about 2 or 3 times. But I couldn't think of anything worse than trying to get in a ring and stop somebody from punching me.
What? So nobody's called it?
I don't want to.
Tom North has come through now.
I don't want to get hit in the face. Like I couldn't think of anything worse than trying to get hit in the face. Like no,
it's mental that's like a thing, right?
I know. I was telling you a while, but I got offered to do. I can't remember what it was. I told you the brand name of the promoters, right? And I got offered to do this thing. They were like, "Have you got anyone? You got beef with anyone?" I said, "No." And also, why the fuck do I want to get punched in the head? Like, I'm a lover, not a fighter. It turned out that the event though, Patrice Evra was fighting somebody on it.
What?
Yeah, he fought. I can't remember who he fought. We'll be able to Google it afterwards, maybe. But he ended up fighting someone.
Oh, Patrice is mad for it. He'll do anything like that. Yeah. But it's big business now, isn't it? Obviously, KSI's got the Misfits boxing. Yeah. And you're getting all sorts of weird and wonderful TikTokers doing all sorts. And I think, like, just going back to your point, I think the Sidemen, they obviously, there's a massive market for them, and a lot of younger kids will watch them and teens and all that, and they've grown up on them, and they still watch. We've got a lad that works for us that watches them religiously. It's like Sidemen Sunday is like his religious thing he watches, which is fair enough. But I do think people just see that and think that's what YouTube is, and it isn't. There's so much more than that. Like you guys, what you've done, there's so many creators on YouTube that like they're their own production company. You know, they're the editors, they're the script writers, they're the filming, cameras, sound, everything. They do everything themselves. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, like that's what 7 or 8 years. That were you like from?
It's not anymore. I walked in here today. He's got 7 people working for him. 7. You don't even know their name. He called them minions. Meet the minions, Fozzie. Meet the minions. It's horrible.
It's mental to think that you did that for like 8 years by yourself twice a week.
Yeah, that was
eating everything twice a week.
I was thinking he edits them because it's such a basic edit. Like, there's no way you're paying professionals to do this edit. It's like hard cuts. Everything's a hard
George
cut.
is going to be getting offended here. Mine are like, if I'm in America, I'm editing them and coloring them and everything. The ones like we're shooting today will be with the crew, and George will more than likely be editing it.
A little bit glossier,
Those
George,
are a bit nicer. Yeah.
Can you put that quote on his website, please, for future customers? He's having us out here, mate. When you look at like the YouTube landscape, then, and you look at other footballers that have succeeded in it, like Peter Crouch has got his podcast as well. Like, what other footballers would you like to see step into that space where you know they've got a good personality?
Yeah.
Like, is there anybody that stands out?
There's the next cycling GK, whoever comes and does it and does match day vlogs and sort of like follow me around the training ground for a day, and this is what it looks like to be a footballer. There's been a few that have tried it, like Jude Bellingham's got a YouTube channel now, Jesse Lingard's got one, Cristiano Ronaldo's got a monster one, but it's not YouTube for me. They're not YouTube. It's like
TV
it's a production
polished,
company. It's a TV polished YouTube channel. they've had a production company who are telling them what to do, what to say, and they're acting it out, and then they just put it on YouTube because it's video. But the person who does the vlogging actually vlogs it, gets their camera, their GoPro, and thinks of what they're going to say and plans it all out and does it nicely like that, will pop massively. If you can get a big Premier League name player to do it. But the only problem is you're opening yourself up to a world of criticism. You really, really are. You do crazy numbers, but if you win on a Saturday, it's fine. But if you lose on a Saturday, don't even dream of it. You should be focusing on football. If you lose on a Saturday, you're supposed to go home and cry into your bed, not see the world, not do anything, get straight into the gym or the training pitch and work on what you fucked up on the Saturday. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what they expect of you, because football fans, they have this like emotional like connection with football. Like when they support a team, they own a little emotional piece of that football team. And if they see one of their players that they put all this emotional time into, like not giving it everything or not performing, they take it really personally. And you know what football fans are like when they get on Instagram and Twitter, they just say what they want to say.
It's class that that's the reason you've succeeded, is because you've got such an intimate understanding of what the platform is and what the audience want to see. And like you said, if the production company's style comes in, it's like TV. People don't want it. Like
YouTube has to be done vloggy. It has to be done.
YouTube has outperformed for the last 2 years Netflix for streaming, so it shows what the appetite is.
Exactly. Yeah.
Am I right thinking that have you got your own sort of like talent network? Have you got anything like that?
No, not really. We're trying to get really into like production more and doing a bit more for people and bits and bobs and try and helping like podcast start up or helping YouTube channels start up or grow. Or
can you give us an hand, Tom? Yeah. we are fucked over here, mate. You guys have got that Spotify sign behind you. We're like absolute monkeys in the north, so let's have a conversation. You said on the drive up that you like to do quizzes, and I put it to George. I said, George, do us a quiz, mate. And just by chance,
what quiz are we talking?
George, what quiz have we got?
So with Josh being a complete sort of like doesn't know anything about football really, do you? I've got some questions for him, and then they're a bit more beginner level, and then some tougher questions for you.
Are we talking sports still?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're sports related.
I might just sit this now.
You keep score.
I'm keeping score. Okay, cool.
So I'll give first question for Josh.
We're not doing it. You're not going to do a sound effect.
Do you want me to?
You got to do a sound effect. That's what it's for.
You need to put headphones on.
You can work from it.
Fucking right. It's expensive shit.
You have to put your headphones on to hear the sound effects for this.
Benefit.
It's probably not worth it.
It's definitely worth it.
So you feel the impending dread now.
All right, Josh. How many points does a team get for winning a league match?
Oh, come on. Oh, fuck off. This is what happens when we do the quizzes. You get the trivia.
You're surprised at how little he knows, though.
I'm going to go 3 points.
Okay.
Phenomenal.
1 point.
You're going to get like in what minute of this match in the 2002 Champions League final?
Yeah, what is the inside leg measurement of Cristiano Ronaldo?
All right. Ben, first question for you. Who was the first player to win the Ballon d'Or 3 times?
It's got to be Messi.
It was Johan Cruyff.
Oh, man.
Know that. It's a good question.
This will help you get better at quizzes anyway. All right, Josh, next question for you. So it's 1-0. If a match ends in a draw during a league season...
Piss off, George.
That better not be right, George.
You're a twat.
He's taking the piss now.
1 point.
Hey. Ben doesn't really know quite how little Josh knows, but that is
change the podcast name to Breaking Ben now.
He's going to be fucking fuming.
All right, Ben, next question. Which team won the first ever Champions League, formerly European Cup, in 1956?
Real Madrid.
Correct.
Look at, you can see his competitive play.
All right, Josh. Which country has won the most World Cups?
We had this on the normal quiz before.
Probably.
Does the question get passed over if he gets it wrong?
Sure.
Normally no, but yeah, in this circumstance, I think yes, you should.
France. They've got a lot of stars, haven't they, above there?
Do you want to try and claim it, Ben?
Brazil.
Correct.
We did have that before, yeah. I think you said France before.
Yeah, I've got Alzheimer's, those two, mate.
Are you keeping score on this, Adam?
No, that's...
I won't take a point for that. I won't take a point for that.
No, I'm not keeping score. I know it was my one fundamental duty.
We'll put it on screen. All right. Ben's next question. Which goalkeeper has the most clean sheets in Premier League history?
Petr Cech.
Yeah.
That's definitely 2-2 now.
2-2?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
if we're not giving him the one passed over.
Definitely, I think. Yeah.
Okay, next one for Josh. Who is the all-time Champions League top goal scorer?
Ronaldo.
It is Cristiano Ronaldo.
I did not know that. I was going to say Raul.
141 goals.
Good shout.
Messi's second.
You've
with
never heard of Raul, have you?
Nah.
Miles away.
Raul Moore.
He is. You're fucking useless, man. Honestly.
All right, next one, Ben. Who was the first player to score a hat-trick in a World Cup final?
That's hard, that. First player in a World Cup final.
Mbappe?
Hat-trick.
In a World Cup final.
It was
Jeff Hurst.
Jeff Hurst in 1966.
You two are on the same team.
Very good.
Yeah, we should get a point for that. For a friend.
Okay, Josh. Which football club is known as the Toffees?
He's not going to get that.
No, he won't get that.
West Brom. I don't know.
Former West Brom player, you should be ashamed of yourself.
He's a Wrexham player.
West Brom and the Baggies. West Brom and the Baggies.
Right, okay.
Everton.
Oh, right, okay. I would have got
That's going to be...
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what the score is.
Do you know what they do?
Hold
Do you know
on,
what they do
screen
before the
afterwards.
game when you play at Everton at Goodison? They go around like the front row of the thing, handing out toffees. So you know, like they get that.
I did not know
they
that.
Wear the wig, like a girl, like a maid kind of thing, wears a wig, and they hand out toffees to the.
Didn't know that.
There you go.
Next challenge video, Adam.
Eat what? Eat
Got
all
Everton, eat
toffees.
as many toffees as you can.
Yeah. But
All right, next one for Ben. Which club has played the most seasons in the English top flight without ever winning the league?
I think I know what I'd guess. I'm not sure though.
Tough ones, these.
Good question. It's a really good question. This. Tottenham.
It's Everton again.
Oh, I was going to say Villa for some reason. I don't know why.
When you say top flight, you don't mean just Premier League then?
Well, as in Premier League or
the old
Division
Division
1
One.
that it used to be, yeah.
Didn't clarify that. Is that still 3-2 to Josh then?
that. Nobody knows.
No one knows.
Yeah, I'll give you 3-2.
We'll figure
Alright,
out
okay,
after.
we'll go 3-2.
Okay, Josh.
Yep.
Next one for you. Which club has the most Champions League titles?
Man United. I don't fucking know.
It's Real Madrid.
It's Real Madrid.
You bum. Fucking Man United.
I still think Rude Van Nistelrooy the right place for him.
Why is he the only fucking player? That's so weird.
All right, and next one. Who is the only manager to have won league titles in England, Spain, Italy, France, and Germany?
Ancelotti?
It is
Oh, that's a good one, that.
Good
It's
one.
a good question.
3-3.
3-all, it's got to be, yeah. How many more are there?
There's 10 in total for each of you.
I'm enjoying these. Keep this going.
All right, Josh. Which was the first English club to win the European Cup, now known as Champions League? The first English club to win it.
I've got no idea that first one to win it. Before it was the Champions League as well.
Man United. I don't know.
It is Man United.
Hey!
Back in
4-3.
1968 when they won it. Okay, next one, Ben. Which goalkeeper has the most penalty saves in Premier League history?
Oh, I think I know this. Is it Lucas Fabianski?
It is.
Fucking hell, that's this is so much
11.
harder for me.
I've got a question. I've got one for Adam. Which keeper has like the most goals in Premier League?
Which keeper's like the most in?
Yeah.
Whoever's playing the longest.
Can we have the sound effect, please?
I want to say. I don't know actually. Be somebody good, but they've just let loads in. Peter Schmeichel. David
I don't
Seaman.
know the answer, sir.
You're a prick, Josh.
You know what? My first thought was that's what he's done. I thought he'll never do that to a guest. That's the kind of thing I would do. That's a fucking scumbag, baby. That is.
It's because he's got the record for like the most saves.
And then also let the most in as well. Like my loads as well.
Before we've even filmed as well. He might just fuck off back home now.
This is the Breaking Bad podcast.
Sorry, mate.
It's good. I like it.
I would, if it makes you feel any better, I would not have guessed that. Obviously.
All right, next one for you, Josh. What is the name of the ground that Liverpool Football Club play in?
Anfield.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. And Ben, right, so these ones, I'm not 100% sure. These may be wrong. Only you would know, because these are about
master you are, George.
What was the score in your final professional game?
5-5.
Correct, yeah. That is what I've got now.
Interesting enough, makes that the score, isn't it? 5-0.
Yeah.
Does
I
it?
think he probably does.
What?
Yeah, 5-5.
We've got Tom off camera here.
What kind of manager are you? Come on.
Letting 5 goals in forces you into retirement, mate. I promise you.
Do we agree? We're in agreement.
Okay.
That's funny.
All right, Josh. Which team famously went an entire Premier League season unbeaten in 2003, 2004?
Come on, Josh.
It's got to be Man United, that, isn't it?
You are fucking dense, you, mate.
Is that your answer?
You were alive at this time?
Yeah, I mean, like
Just.
It's not Man United.
You should have given. Yeah, you.
2003, I was 11 years old. Like,
Yeah.
go on, who was it?
Arsenal.
I thought when I supposed to know
The
that.
Invincibles.
The Invincibles.
I just know you support them and the shit. I remember the. Well, I can't remember his name, but they were that manager at Arsenal.
Yeah, the one that manager. You've had a few, mate. Yeah.
That they named the club after, yeah.
Last one for Ben, then. This is going to be the last one.
There's 2 more for Ben,
Right,
1
okay,
more for you. So, again, this could be wrong. I'm
Mistakes
not
at
sure.
6-5 if he gets it.
In the 2006-07 FA Cup, you helped Watford reach the semi-final. Which team knocked you out?
Oh, Man United.
Yeah, it was Man United.
I didn't play in that game, man.
No?
I couldn't. I was cup tied.
What?
Cup tied?
Well, I was on loan from Man United, so
right, okay.
I couldn't play against my parent team.
Okay, Josh, last question for you.
Right, for the win.
Who holds the record for most goals scored in a single Premier League season?
You said his name earlier.
Van Nistelrooy. What, yeah?
Nibble.
It's not the answer I have.
Erling
I have
Haaland.
Erling Haaland, 36
Yeah.
goals.
I don't know who that is.
2 seasons ago. That.
That was
You've never heard of
2022,
Erling
23
Haaland.
season.
I don't know who that is.
All right.
There's something wrong with you. I'm gonna have to give you one of those like V8, like a tape, right, of like the week's sporting events or something, and just make you watch it.
All right, last one, Ben. Again, could be wrong, not sure. I'm relying on Google here. Who provided the assist for Danny Welbeck's goal on your Manchester United debut? Whew. You might not even know the answer to this.
Tom's in back shaking his head.
No idea.
Imagine all the games he's played, and that one specific. It's not even the goal scorer, the assist.
The assist.
Danny Welbeck, man.
He was
What
against
about
Birmingham
debut?
City. We won 1-0. Patrice Evra.
No, it was Wayne Rooney.
Yeah, good.
What was he like, Welbeck? All right.
Ah, brilliant, man.
Yeah, I was so is
Brilliant.
it. I was Latsman's a player.
Yeah, brilliant. He's class. Like, he's just had his highest score in Premier League season this year, and he's what 36, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Is he 34, 33? Fair dues. He's a machine.
It's funny. I was watching the Arsenal game last time. I was watching the coverage, and they had Sturridge and Walcott on there, and they're both. I'm thinking, oh man, these guys. Why are these guys in punditry? And then I think Walcott says I am 34, and I think Sturridge is 35 or some shit.
They're both retired really early,
Yeah.
them two. Even Mika Richards on there as well.
Yeah,
He-
yeah.
He
He was
retired
early,
at
yeah.
what, like 30 odd, maybe even 20s, like late 20s. He retired. It's mad, honestly.
It's mad, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
But a lot of time, you forget that. Not only that, but the people that kind of slip through the net. People don't even get out of academies. Who are like professional for that period of time. And it's a short career, isn't it, for a lot of
a short
people?
Yeah,
It's
make the most of it.
Most people don't get to like Ronaldo 40 playing.
You're not wrong.
Most people you're gonna get an injury at some point, aren't you?
Let's call it. Right, any more final questions from the floor? George, you got any questions for Ben that you wanted answering? Well, we've got the opportunity. No?
Can I ask a question? It's for Beard. It's for the main man, right? Oh, sorry.
No.
I'm sorry, Joe. Right. So, like, as a footballer, you have like a pre-match meal, right?
Yeah.
So in the morning before a game, you'll have a pre-match meal 3 hours before the main event, right?
Yeah.
And it's something, carb heavy or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you have a pre-match meal before you go and do one of your eating challenges?
That's a really good question. So we prepped with that. No, you can,
I was thinking about this though.
Ordinarily, no. But I normally like to shoot like 11, 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
If we have done a couple though, because of restaurant opening hours or whatever, it's later in the day. So I'll normally have something that's really easy to digest behind sugar. So like something like a chocolate, like a Freddo or something like that. So I'll nibble on that.
So you've had no breakfast today already? Nothing?
No. Whether I'm filming or not, I only eat once a day. I'll eat one meal a day.
Will you do any exercise in the morning or anything like that?
I used to train in the morning. Now I tend to train at night. So if I'm like today we're filming, I won't train at all. But usually I would train at night after I've eaten. But yes, I'll just wake up in the morning, black coffee all day, man. And then when I come to eat, I'll eat. But if we're filming late, I'll need a bit of something usually just for energy.
Because they say when they do the proper eating challenges, the big ones, the world championships and stuff like that. Say people would think just starve yourself and you'd be absolutely starving, but your stomach starts to sort of shrink a little bit, doesn't it? Yeah. So you've still got to have something in you, haven't you?
Yeah, a lot of people, if you talk about like contests like in America where they do Nathan's, like which is basically the biggest. That's like the Champions League final of competitive eating, which is mad in and of itself. But yeah, like before that, those guys normally don't. They'll normally do fluids for like days beforehand. But because of the fact that we all kind of do it with some regularity, it doesn't really shrink that much. Yeah. But when I did Nathan's, I ate quite a lot before. I used to eat like candy, like on the bus on the way to the event, just for energy. Because it sounds like a daft thing to say, but it takes a lot of energy to eat like that.
Yeah.
Because you basically I've said it to Josh before. You do I'd rather do like squats for 10 minutes than eat for 10 minutes at full tilt. It's really draining. It takes a lot of effort. So you need some type of energy.
What are you like after, when you're going to bed and stuff like that? Say you've had the eating challenge at 12 o'clock. When you're going to bed that night, does it affect your sleep or anything?
Well, that's why I try to eat as early as I can, really. I don't like eating late. Like we're going to film one late, aren't we, in
Amsterdam?
Yeah. And that'll mess me up. It kind of depends on how big it is. There's a lot of variability. It can really mess your sleep up. Yeah, I don't sleep very well best of times, but after I've eaten a lot, you're tossing and turning because it's not only the fact that it affects you, the way you feel. It's also like if you've got a lot of food in you, your diaphragm doesn't expand, so it affects your breathing. I used to get like a lot of time if I'm ever in bed with anyone, say for example Josh's wife, she'll complain if I've eaten a lot that I snore, because it affects. It's like you get apnea because sometimes you can't get a full lung, and there's a lot of weird things that are kind of quite interesting, but also
you were saying after you did the 100,000 calorie.
Oh yeah, what over like 100
over
hours,
a week,
100 hours, yeah.
And but your legs swelled up and
I'll never do that again. But yeah, that was there are a lot of kind of transient things. You probably notice as an athlete, the things like salt are really important. But like if I go eat something really salty, we when we were at the Spotify event, remember?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I didn't film anything, but like we went out to this chicken place afterwards because I don't normally eat that late, but we'd had a few, and he's like, let's get some chicken wings. So I'm like, right, I'm not gonna get sick. So I'm like, fucking hell, if anyone sees me, I've got to be eating a lot of chicken wings here.
Bucket,
Credibility. Credibility is
proper hot wings, you're like dripping.
But you didn't like a flavour, did you?
Yeah,
I ended up eating some of yours.
Yeah.
And the morning after, I woke up, my face was like Paddy the Baddy, when UFC fighters like rehydrate.
Like the clumps, remember the clumps? It's like, it's out here, like, what's happened to you?
So stuff like that is the craziest, yeah. But generally, you just feel a bit gross, I think, afterwards. But it depends on what it is. Like, if you eat something like, we were talking about pancakes earlier on, because it's just a starch, it's quite easy to digest. They're hard to eat, but like easy to digest. Today, I think if we're doing fish and chips, that'll be all right. Fish is pretty light. If you go eat like, I don't know, 100-ounce steak, that's going to sit there for a while.
That's sitting there for a while. It takes a while to process that, doesn't it?
That one that we did in South Germany, where it was basically a joint of beef. It wasn't a steak.
Oh, it was just roast beef.
It was a roast beef joint this big, and it'd been on the grill for 20, 30 minutes, and it was cooked just like a slight. It was basically eating raw meat for an hour and a half. We had to drive like 5 hours back.
The driving afterwards is bad sometimes. Yeah, if I'm by myself, I've got to drive like 3-4 hours across America after I've just eaten a load of food.
Have you got a world ranking?
I used to compete, so I used to have whether you know it or not, if you're doing like big contests like in front of massive crowds, like Nathan's, they have like 38,000 people in the crowd, and then they broadcast it on TV. Fucking 2-3 million people watch. It's America, right? You have to sign a contract to compete with them, so it's a bit like. It's like being a wrestler or something, I imagine, or like a MMA fighter, right? You sign with them and you can compete and win money and stuff. And the highest I was ranked there was like 11, but like at the highest level, people laugh about it. Now, I never call it sport because to me it's just like a bit of a freak show. But like at the highest level, people that are the best at it takes, I'll tell you what, it takes no less effort to eat what Joey Chestnut and like the best in the world eat compared to like say like the best footballers. It takes they dedicate their life to it. Whether that's a good thing to do or not, I don't know. But so I know how hard it was to be 11th in the world. So like those guys, God only knows. But it takes a lot of effort.
Yeah, it's good. Well done.
Any more questions?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, you're going to get to see it in real life now, mate. We've got a trip down to Mansfield, so you ready for it?
No, but I'm buzzing still. I'm buzzing.
If it helps you, I know you say you're competitive. The last time I went to Mansfield to film with somebody who was a guest on the podcast was James Smith.
That's right, yeah.
And I lost. Actually, admittedly, it was like 3 days after Boxing Day. A day after Boxing Day, I'd been eating for like 3 days straight. So we both did pretty badly. But you never know. You might be.
You'll demolish us today. You will. I watched a few videos last night of it, of what it actually entails and what it looks like.
Yeah.
It don't look that hefty. I've seen you eat so much more than this. So much more than this. The thing that made me laugh is though, like the bread, it's like proper thick cut Warburton's like toasty loaf. It is so thick, honestly. Yeah. And you get 4 slices of it cut in half. I think you get a pot of curry sauce, pot of mushy peas, 2 big battered cods, and a massive old plate of chips. The chips look decent, to be fair, like proper nice chunky chips as well, crunchy. They look decent.
You need to go chips first, then. There's like a bit of insider.
Yeah, I'll
tip.
make some butties. And squash them up. Yeah,
nice. Right, he's got his strategy.
I'm interested to see what the tactics are going to be.
Let's see if we can execute it. Honestly, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Honestly, I enjoyed that. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It was great.
And we'll be back next week with another podcast. But for now, let's go take on this challenge.
Peace.